Story. Birth of Lord Ganesh. After his marriage with goddess Parvati, Lord Shiva started to live in the Mount Kailash along with his attendants Nandi and Bringi and other Ganas. One day, Jaya and Vijaya, the gatekeepers of Lord Vishnu, met goddess Parvati in the Kailash. In conversations, they told her, "O pure woman, all the Ganas and the attendants carry out the orders of your husband, Lord Shiva. There exist numerous gods, but they all live in their places, implementing Lord Shiva's orders only. Though we can call them our own, but our mind won't align with them. Hence, we must create our own." Upon hearing the suggestion, Goddess Parvati also considered it as a good idea and thought to implement it. Several days passed after that conversation. One day, she went for a bath in her house, keeping Shiva's attendant Nandi at the door as a guard to stop accidental entry of the house for others during that time. At the same time, Lord Shiva entered the house without paying attention to Nandi's words. Seeing Lord Shiva, Goddess Parvati felt very shy. Later, she recollected Jaya Vijaya's suggestion and thought that having own gods would help in such situations. She also thought that his servant should be expert in performing all the duties and must not move away from her commands at any cost for any reasons. After many days of this incident, Goddess Parvati decided to go for a bath when Lord Shiva was not at home. Remembering her previous experience, she thought that it was a right time to create her own. She immediately created a boy with all the characteristics using the turmeric powder from her body. The boy was spotless and handsome. He was huge in size and had all brilliance, strength, and courage. After giving clothes and ornaments, she blessed him and said that, "You are my son. You are my own. I don't have anyone else to call my own." Later, the boy greeted her and asked her orders, saying that he was ready to accomplish all her commands. Hearing this, the delighted Parvati replied to her son, "Oh dear, you are my son. There is no one else who belongs to me. Work as a gatekeeper for me from today onwards. Without my permission, no one should be allowed to enter inside my house by any means." Saying this, she also gave a hard stick as a weapon to him. With mother's love, she was delighted by seeing his charming features. After placing him at the door with his weapon, the unworried goddess Parvati went for a bath with her friends. At the same time, Lord Shiva, who is an expert in divine sports, came nearer to the door. Not knowing him as Lord Shiva and the husband of his mother goddess Parvati, the boy told him, "Oh, sir, without my mother's permission, you should not go inside now. My mother has gone for a bath. Where are you going now? Please go away." Seeing the boy standing at the door firmly with his stick, Shiva told him that he was none other than Lord Shiva. He also questioned whether the boy did not know about him before. Even then, the boy did not move an inch from that place. On top of that, he attacked Shiva with his weapon. Seeing that, the angered Shiva told that, "You are a fool. You don't know that I am Shiva, the husband of Parvati. Oh boy, I am going to my own house. Why are you stopping me? Seeing Shiva's actions, once again, the angered boy struck him with his stick. With more frustration, Lord Shiva commanded his own Ganas to find out who that boy was and what was he doing there. Saying this, he stood outside of the house at a distance. Upon the orders, the Ganas inquired his details, but the boy, instead of giving his details, questioned their details. The Ganas, after laughing, replied that, "Listen, we are the Ganas of Lord Shiva. We are his doorkeepers. We have come here on his orders to throw you out of this place. Considering you two as one of the Ganas, we are not killing you. Otherwise, you would have been killed by this time. Better stay away yourself. Why do you wish for your death voluntarily?" But the fearless boy stood at the door and expressed his desire strongly to them. Later, the Ganas informed Shiva about the boy's stand, but the angered Shiva sent them back, saying the new doorkeeper should be thrown out from the house. Upon being ordered by the Shiva, the Ganas questioned the boy again. "Oh gatekeeper, who are you? Why are you not paying attention to us? How can you stay alive without listening to our words? We are all duly appointed doorkeepers. Oh boy, you will roar only as long as you do not feel the effect of our attack." More angered by their words, the boy struck the Ganas with his weapon as they continued to speak. Later, he asked them to leave that place immediately, else he would show more anger at them. Surprised by the sudden acts of the boy, the Ganas expressed displeasure and thought that even though they acted decently, the boy did not show any decency there. Thinking like that, they went back and informed the same thing to Shiva again. But the angered Lord Shiva scolded them for their helplessness. He commanded them again that they should beat the boy and they should send him away from the door. After this, the helpless Ganas went back and questioned why the boy was speaking so arrogantly. They also asked him to leave the place, else death was certain for him in their hands. Hearing their words, the unhappy boy stood there thinking what to do next. At the same time, hearing the noise of arguments at the door, Goddess Parvati asked her friend to check the same. The friend, after seeing them for a moment, understood the whole matter. Upon returning from the gate, she informed to Parvati, "O great goddess, the Ganas of Shiva are arguing with our boy to enter inside the house. How do these Ganas and Shiva enter your house suddenly without considering your convenience? This is not good for you. But our boy is doing well and not allowing anyone inside. Let them conquer him and enter the house. If our boy is insulted, then it means we too are insulted. Hence, O gentle lady, you should not compromise here." Hearing that, Goddess Parvati stood silently for a moment and said, "Didn't he wait for a moment? Why is he trying to enter the house forcefully? What should I do now? Should I compromise? What is to happen? Let it happen. What is done cannot be altered. After this, she sent her friend to tell her message to the boy. Later, the friend of goddess Parvati praised the boy for his acts. She said, "Don't allow the Ganas to enter forcefully. The Ganas are not at all a match for your strength. Whether it is good or bad, you do your duty here. If you defeat them, then there will be no further enmity at all." Hearing the message from her mother's friend, the delighted and strengthened boy spoke with Ganas fearlessly. "I am the son of Parvati. You are the Ganas of Shiva. Both of us are equal. You must carry out the commands of Shiva. I have to carry out the orders of Parvati faithfully. I have decided what is appropriate and proper. Please listen. You are not allowed to enter the house either forcibly or humbly." Hearing the confident words from the boy, the Ganas felt ashamed. They went back to Shiva's place and informed the latest details about the boy. Upon hearing the details from the Ganas, Lord Shiva replied, "O Ganas, a battle may not be a right thing in every situation. You are my own Ganas. He is Parvati's Gana. But if you are humble in front of him, then it will be an insult to me. That single Gana is a mere boy. You all are experts in war and well reputed in the world. Don't degrade yourselves by moving away from the war. How can a woman be stubborn, especially with her husband? Certainly, Parvati will get the results of what she has done. Hence, my great heroes, this war has to be fought by all means. Let it happen what is certain to happen." Understanding Shiva's station, the Ganas reached the house with full weapons for a war. Upon seeing the fully prepared Ganas, the confident boy said, "O Ganas, I am only one, and that too a simple boy, who is following the directions of Parvati. It is time for her to see the strength of her own son. Let Shiva see the strength of his Ganas too. The fight between the parties of Parvati and Shiva is the one between a strong army and a boy. You all are experts in wars and have fought in many battles before, but I have never fought in any battle before. I am going to fight now. In case if you are defeated, then it will be a shameful to Shiva and Parvati. But that will not be the same case for me. If I am defeated, then Parvati and Shiva will be shameful, but not me. O leaders, you should realize this before getting into battle. What is certain to occur, let it occur. No one in the three worlds can stop it off." Hearing the words, the thousands of Ganas rushed towards Ganesha with big batons and different kinds of weapons. At first, Nandi caught Ganesha's one leg, later, Bringi caught Ganesha's other leg. Before they tried to pull him down, he struck a blow at their hands to get his legs free. He immediately smashed the Ganas using a big iron rod. Immediately, some fell on the ground, some fled in various directions, some fled back to Shiva. In a short time, no one among them stood face to face with him. Just like a deer ran away by seeing a lion, the Ganas, who were thousands in number, fled in that manner. He was seen as Lord Yama, the god of death to them. After trashing everyone, he returned to the door and continued his given work. At the same time, requested by God Narada, All the gods, including Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and Indra, came there. They all bowed in front of Lord Shiva and said, O great Brahman, the Lord of all, the Creator, the Sustainer, and the Destroyer of all created things, we all are your servants. We are ready to fulfill your commands and wishes. On hearing their words and seeing the Ganas completely shattered, Lord Shiva told them everything. Later, turning to Lord Brahma, he said, O Brahma, listen. A boy is standing at the entrance of my house. He is very strong. He has a weapon in his hand. He prevents my entry to the house. He strikes very skillfully. He has forcefully defeated my Ganas. You alone should go there. You shall bring him under control with your acts. Upon being ordered by Lord Shiva and deceived by ignorance, Lord Brahma went near the boy along with the sages. On seeing Brahma, the powerful boy very angrily plucked Lord Brahma's mustache and beard. On seeing this, Brahma immediately asked the boy to forgive him. Later, he said that, O Lord, I have not come here to fight. I am a Brahmin and shall be blessed. I have come here to make peace. I will not cause any harm. But the angered Ganesha did not listen to Lord Brahma's words also. He took the iron rod once again to strike all of them. Seeing that, Brahma began to run away immediately. Other sages who came with Brahma shouted at him to go away from the boy. As they were shouted, few were hit by Ganesha with his weapon. Some of them fell on the ground on their own, and some of them were knocked down by Ganesha. Few of them rushed back to Shiva and informed the details. Knowing the news, Shiva became more angry. Later, he issued orders to Lord Indra, the six-faced deity Lord Kumara, other Ganas, ghosts and spirits. With the desire to kill Ganesha, they all reached him with full weapons. Upon seeing him, they immediately threw their weapons on him. With the effect of ongoing battle, there was a great public outcry and uncertainty in all the three worlds. The whole world was undergoing unexpected destruction, even though the Lord Brahma's lifespan was not over. Certainly, it was Lord Shiva's wish. At the same time, Lord Kumara and other gods were very much surprised as they were not able to use their weapons effectively. Meantime, Goddess Parvati, the mother of universe, got very much angry after knowing the ongoing incidents and the battles. She immediately created two woman forms known as Shaktis to support her own Ganesha. One Shakti appeared in a very fearful form and stood there, opening her mouth as wide as the entrance of a big mountain cave. The other Shakti appeared in the form of lightning. She had many arms. She was huge and terrible and ready to punish the evil. The weapons thrown by the gods and the Ganas were caught and sent back in their direction by the Shakti. None of the gods' weapons were seen anywhere nearer to him. Indra and other gods were struck hard by the boy. The Ganas of Shiva became nervous and distressed. Shaken by Ganesha's blows, they discussed among themselves what they should do and where they should go now. At the same time, the forest gods who came there with flowers to worship the gods were very much surprised by seeing the battle as they had not witnessed anything like that before. With the effect of battle, the earth was shaking with all its oceans. The mountains started to fall down. The gods fled from that place, as such the Ganas of Shiva. Only Lord Kumara did not flee from that place. He stopped everyone and stood in front of the Ganesha. But their efforts were in vain in front of two women Shaktis. All gods and Ganas fled back from that place. The Ganas who ran back to Shiva informed that they had neither seen nor fought any such battle before in their lifetime. They also pleaded with him that he was alone the savior of the entire universe from the ongoing battle. Hearing that, the angered Rudra became more angry and went there along with his Ganas. In the meantime, Lord Narada spoke to Shiva, O Lord of the gods, please listen to my words. You are an expert in various sports. With your divine sport, the arrogance of the Ganas has been removed. By giving much strength to Ganesha, the greatness of the gods too has been removed. Your own wonderful strength has been known to the world. You independently remove the pride of everyone. Please honor your own Ganas and the gods suitably and make them achieve success. O Brahman, please do not treat Ganesha leisurely and kill him in your play now. Saying this, Narada disappeared from the place. On hearing Narada's words, the Lord Shiva, who grants wishes of his devotees, determined to fight against the boy. After consulting with Lord Vishnu, the three-eyed god reached that place with his army for the battle. After remembering lotus-like feet of Shiva, the two women Shaktis fought with him with a lot of joy. Later, Ganesha hit all the gods, including Lord Vishnu, with his stick. He had got a great strength through the two women. As soon as the strengths of the gods were decreased, they started to turn back. After fighting for a long time, Shiva was very much surprised by seeing the boy's strength. He thought that the boy had to be killed only by the deception. Thinking like this, he moved to the middle of his army. The Ganas were very much excited by seeing both Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu in the battle. Seeing their happiness, Ganesha at first struck Lord Vishnu, who gives happiness to everyone. Seeing that, Lord Vishnu also iterated Lord Shiva's words and said that without deception, Ganesha cannot be killed. Saying this, Lord Vishnu started to engage in the activities of delusion after seeking Lord Shiva's permission. On seeing Vishnu in that manner, the two women handed over their power to Ganesha and became submerged. The powerful Ganesha immediately threw his iron rod on the place where Lord Vishnu was standing. But Vishnu, after remembering Shiva, moved quickly from that place. Then, upon seeing Lord Shiva, the great hero Ganesha, who was more powerful with two women Shaktis, remembered the lotus-like feet of his mother and struck on Shiva's hand. With that blow, Shiva's trident fell on the land. Seeing this, Shiva immediately took his bow Pinaka. Even his bow also fell on the land with the blow of Ganesha's iron rod. 5 of Shiva's hands were struck. He took up his trident using his other 5 hands. With pain, he felt pity on the Ganas who fought and was hurt by the Ganesha before. In the meantime, the heroic Ganesha, with the more powers, struck the gods and the Ganas with his iron rod. In no time, none of them stayed in the battlefield in front of the powerful Ganesha. On seeing Ganesha, Lord Vishnu said, "The boy is blessed. He is a great hero of great strength. He is fond of battles. I have seen many gods, Danavas, Daityas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, and Rakshasas. In the entire extent of the 3 worlds, none of them can equal Ganesha in regard to brilliance, form, features, and other qualities." While Vishnu was saying like that, the heroic Ganesha threw his iron rod on him. In the process of protection, Lord Vishnu split the iron rod using his weapon discus, a small, sharp, round shaped wheel. Later, Ganesha threw the broken piece of iron rod on Vishnu with a high force, but it was caught and taken away into the sky by the Garuda, who works as a vehicle for Lord Vishnu. Again, the son of Parvati struck Vishnu with his stick, remembering his mother. With that unbearable blow, Lord Vishnu fell on the ground, but he got up quickly and continued his fight with Ganesha again. Seeing this as an opportunity, Lord Shiva came there and cut off Ganesha's head with his trident. Seeing that, Lord Narada, who was famous for creating quarrels between the parties, informed this news to Goddess Parvati. He also told her that Goddess Parvati should not leave her pride and reputation in Ganesha's incident because Ganesha was the one and only one Gana belonging to her. Hearing the news, the Mother of Universe Parvati got extremely angry at the gods. With anger, she thought, what should I do? Where should I go? A great misery happened. My son has been killed by all the gods and the Ganas. Now I should destroy all of them. This is the only way I can get rid of the misery. After expressing her sorrowness, the furious goddess Parvati created hundreds and thousands of women Shaktis in a moment. The created, blazing women Shaktis stood in front of the goddess Parvati and waited eagerly for her commands. Later, goddess Parvati ordered them to create a great outbreak and destruction in all the worlds without any hesitation. She also told them to destroy all the sages, gods, Yakshas, and demons belonging to her as well as others. Upon being commanded, the Shaktis attempted to destroy the gods and others, just as the fire consumed the dry grass. The countless Shaktis spreaded across the worlds began to destroy everyone, including Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, Kubera, Indra, and the six-faced god Skanda. Wherever one looked, the women Shaktis were present in front of them. The innumerable terrific Shaktis were appearing in different forms. In the process of damage, they took up the gods with their hands and threw them in their own mouths. Seeing the destruction, the gods began to doubt whether goddess Parvati wanted to create an untimely end of all worlds. Their hopes and aspirations for life vanished. After gathering together, they discussed that they get relief only when the goddess Parvati was pleased. Even Lord Shiva, who was an expert in different sports, looked upset like an ordinary man. Whether a person belonged to her or others, whether a person was god or demon, Yashas or Kinnaras or sages, none could dare to stand in front of goddess Parvati. On seeing her blazing brightness, all of them were frightened and stayed far away. Meanwhile, Lord Narada came there to help gods and Ganas. After discussing with Narada collectively, Lord Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva concluded that as long as the goddess Parvati did not favor them, there would not be any peace. Later, on their request, Narada and sages reached nearer to goddess Parvati to please her. Upon reaching the place, they bowed to her again and again. They tried to please her by devotion and prayers. O Mother of the Universe, O Shiva, O Chandika, O Kalyani, we are paying greater respect to you. O Mother, you alone are the first Shakti, the eternal cause of creation, sustaining power, and cause for the end of worlds. O goddess, be pleased and spread the peace. O goddess, the three worlds are troubled by your anger. On hearing the prayers of Narada and sages, goddess Parvati glanced at them angrily without saying any word. Seeing her anger, the sages bowed again on her lotus like feet and spoke with her with a low voice and devotion. O goddess, please excuse us. The final destruction of the world seems to be at your hands. Your Lord is standing here. O Mother, you can see him. What are we? The gods, Vishnu, Brahma, and others in front of you. We are only your subjects. We stand here with palms joined in devotion. O great goddess, please forgive our faults. We are worried and distressed. O Parvati, please give us peace. Pleased by the sage's words and showing pity on them, the Mother of Universe Parvati said, if my son regains life, then there may not be further damage. If you can arrange an honorable status and position for my son Ganesha among you as the chief, then there may be peace in the world. Otherwise, you will never be happy. The sages at first informed this news to other gods. Later, they all described that information to Lord Shiva. On hearing the information from the gods, Lord Shiva said that it should be done as ordered by Goddess Parvati in order to regain peace in the world. Later, he ordered them to attach the boy's body with the head of whatever person they first met in the northern direction. Hearing the orders, the gods brought the headless body of Ganesha and washed it well. They paid special honor to it and started towards the north direction to search for a new head. It was a single tusked elephant that they met in the north direction. They took the head of the elephant and fitted it to Ganesha's body. After joining it, they bowed to Lord Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma and asked them to complete the remaining incomplete work on that body. Then Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and other gods said to Lord Shiva that they all were born out of Shiva's brilliant energy, hence, they were going to recite Vedic mantras to send the same energy into that body, saying that they jointly sprinkled the holy water with mantras on the body. Immediately after the contact of the holy water, the boy came to life as if woke up from a sleep. No doubt, everything was Shiva's wish and will. The boy was extremely handsome. He had the face of an elephant. He was red in color. He was brilliant and had fine features. On seeing the son of Parvati alive again, they all rejoiced as they knew that all their miseries came to an end. Then he was crowned by the gods and the leaders of Ganas. After this, they showed him delightfully to the goddess. On seeing him, the goddess Parvati was greatly delighted. She hugged him with happiness. Later, the goddess gifted all siddhis and touched him with her hand that removes all sufferings. After worshipping her son, she granted him boons with affection and said, you have had great misery since your birth. Now you are blessed and content. You will receive worship before all the gods. You will be free from your sufferings. All achievements certainly occur, and all kinds of obstacles certainly end for anyone who performs your worship with flowers, sandal paste, scents, auspicious food offerings, betel leaves, and charitable gifts. With the graceful blessings of Parvati, Instantly, peace regained on gods and particularly on the Ganas. In the meantime, Lord Indra and other gods praised Shiva happily and brought Ganesha near to Parvati with devotion. After pleasing her, they placed the boy in her lap for the happiness of the three worlds. At the same time, placing his lotus like hand on Ganesha's head, Lord Shiva told the gods that the boy was his another son. Seeing that, the boy Ganesha got up and bowed to Shiva and other gods. He also asked forgiveness for his mistakes, saying arrogance was the characteristic of man's nature. Seeing the boy, Lord Brahma said, O great gods, just like we three, Shiva, Vishnu, and I, are worshipped in all the three worlds, Ganesha shall be worshipped by all of you in the same way. He is the remover of all obstacles and the presenter of the fruits of all rights. He should be worshipped first, and we shall be worshipped afterwards. If he is not worshipped, then we too are not worshipped. If the other gods are worshipped without worshipping him first, then the fruit of the prayers will be lost. There is no doubt in this matter. After this, Lord Shiva said, O son of Parvati, I am pleased. When I am pleased, the entire universe is pleased. No one will oppose that. Even as a boy, you showed great bravery as Parvati's son. You will remain brilliant and happy always. Let your name be the most auspicious in the matter of removing obstacles. Be the chief officer of all my Ganas, and you are worthy of worship. In this way, the boy, who was created by the goddess Parvati without any name, became Ganesha by defeating all Ganas and becoming chief to all the Ganas.